She's the founder and CEO of Aspire for Her, with a mission to change the diversity equation of India. Prior to this, she lived a life of a banker and led in building one of India's youngest banks. She worked in various business leaderships, roles including business strategy, team building, HR, service quality, finance, and the list goes on. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Madhura DasGupta Sinha to our series of Inspiring Icons Insights. Welcome, Madhura.
Thank you so much. It is an absolute pleasure to be here and my privilege to be included in your August lineup.
Oh. As you know, Life is Spiritual Gym is all about introspection, and our series III is about sharing insights so that we get, clues on how to play to our best ability at the cards that life deals to us. So, my first question would be: is what inspired you to form Aspire for Her, and why is your focus on girls of that specific age group?
Thank you. Thank you so much. And first of all, Sangeeta, I have to thank you for being a part of the platform, for being one of our, very, very respected mentors on our platform. And we're looking forward to doing so much more on the platform with you. And just really, really, really excited about the journey ahead. If you ask me what, sort of fascinated me and what inspired me to form Aspire for Her, it goes something like this. So I have been telling myself ever since I was 18 years old that I want to do something for the women of my country. I didn't know what, and I had no clue how that would get shaped out as my career spanned out. When I was joining the workforce, the percentage of women in the workforce was in the mid 30s. And I felt hopeful. I felt that by the time that, I spent some time in the workforce, this number will certainly improve and it'll look a lot better. Uh, Unfortunately, as I was living my own career and my own journey, I realized that this number was actually deteriorating day by day. And right now, if you actually see the number, it's at its lowest point. The percentage of women in the workforce is down to the low 20s. In fact, it's as low as 22, 23%. And that was something that was really disturbing me. And as I was seeing some girls in and around in my network and circles actually moving out of the workforce as their family prosperity grew, I was also seeing the global gender gap indices data coming out of India. And, there are 153 countries that actually get evaluated for the global gender gap index. And there is this one specific element of economic empowerment. And you know where India stands? India is fourth from the bottom in that list. And, that disturbed me somewhere. And I felt that someone has to do something about this. And then I told myself that someone has to be me. If I want to change something, I can't sit around waiting for other people to do something about it. It has to be me. And that's how I started Aspire for Her. That was the main inspiration.
Yeah, as they say, charity begins from home. So if you really want to do something, you have to start with yourself, isn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and that's how it started. And I think the second question was in terms of girls, why 18 to 25? Now, these 7 years of a woman's life is very important. That's when they're most confused, but yet their life decisions haven't been taken. And that's the reason why I thought a lot. And I was seeing my colleagues in the talent acquisition space always very, very despondent and cribbing about the fact that there were not enough women in middle to senior level positions. The talent pool was very shallow. And then I asked themselves, and they say, we don't just find women at all when we want to hire women in leadership positions. And I said, why is that? And that's because at the age of 18 or at the age of 19, when they're starting off, there has been no thoughts which have actually been seeded in their heads to say you can't quit, you can't give up on your career, and you have to persevere. You have to not only enter, but you have to stick on, whatever be the challenges and the barriers that come your way. And that's the reason why I decided that this is probably the right segment. When you start talking to girls about careers, you start telling them that it's not a great idea to give up on your career, because it is very difficult to actually get back in. Once you've lost that foothold. This is what some people call the broken rung. Just there are so many women who actually just give up and then are completely unable to get back in spite of their desire to do so. So that was one of the reasons. And then somebody pointed out a very interesting HBR study to me, and they said that, something, these 7 years is when intellectual openness is also at its maximum among both men and women.
Interesting.
And Sangeeta, that's the other reason why I felt that, this is the time that life decisions haven't been made. The path is still, it's just beginning. You're still confused, but yet you want to start taking the right decisions in your life, including decisions about your academics, higher education, as well as other important life decisions like who you want to marry. By the time you're 25, a lot of those decisions have already been taken.
Yeah.
And maybe it's too late to start talking to you at that point in time. That's the reason why we wanted to talk to girls who were in that age category, 18 to 25.
Yes, I was going to say it's like a twilight zone, isn't it? It's and
Yes.
and you're quite vulnerable at that age. You sort of need a little bit of handholding. You feel you're quite there, but it's like almost like you need a little gentle support and a push. But
Yes.
and the light is there, but you just want to make sure. So it's a tender age, and it's a very good age to work
Yes.
with. Yes.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I love it. And I get so much of energy from the girls that it just makes my day. Every day is an inspiration really to me, because it's a pleasure to speak to them, interact with them, and work with them.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
So, what are your goals for Aspire for Her, and how do you plan to achieve those goals?
Ah, well, we have some wonderful goals for ourselves, because we realize in a country like India, we have to be very conscious of the total number of lives that we will impact and touch. To start with, we want to touch 1 million women. Our community today is just 15, 16,000. This has been a journey over the last 6, 7 months. But we want that community to grow to 1 million women in the next 4 to 5 years. That's the biggest goal. And if we reach 1 million women, Sangeeta, I can assure you that this will add about $5 billion to the Indian GDP.
Wow.
And that's a big number, right? And it's a significant sort of contribution to our country's economy, which we know that is missing out on $1 trillion opportunity because enough women are not going into work.
Wow. That is so impressive, and so much power to you, Madhura, for this amazing, amazing mission. So, our series is about insights and regrets. So, I would like to ask you now, could you take us through this journey from the inception to the present? Because I know it's a young foundation that you've set
Very
up.
young.
Yes. So, in this process, what are your insights and what are the regrets? Because that's what shifts the perspectives. So, we would really, really love to hear that.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. And actually, this is a question which really made me think a lot. And I think the first insight that I'd probably, like to leave our audience with is, collaboration it's been a very beautiful collaborative journey for us. Collaboration, I think, has been the most beautiful element of my entire journey. The minute I started talking about Aspire for Her, initially with a small group of friends, I found a huge amount of respect, a huge amount of excitement, interest to say, hey, we want to be part of this. And we've been wanting to give back. We don't have the ability to do that because there's no platform. If you're building a platform, we're all in. And that was wonderful. But very soon, I realized that I didn't have to explain anything to anyone. People saw us on social media. People saw us in different sorts of forums. They saw us as a part of discussions, and they all just came about saying that we want to be part of this movement. So we're not really, just a non-profit or just a company or just a firm. We're actually building a movement here. And I think that was the biggest insight that I personally got before, in the last 6 months. I think that's been an absolutely fascinating journey. Uh, I think the second insight has been on intrinsic motivation. What drives people? And a few days back, I actually was rereading my favorite book by Daniel Pink called Drive, and I realized that here I have a bunch of young minds working with me. Uh, they're not really getting anything tangible out of this entire experience. Uh, yeah, we do give a couple of certificates here and there, but that's really nothing very important. Uh, they're not getting paid, they're not getting promotions, they're not getting performance ratings, they're not getting all the usual, accolades and successes that we get in student life. So why is it that they're working for Aspire for Her? Why is it that they're giving so much of themselves to this cause? And I realized that intrinsic motivation comes basically from three primary elements of autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And I think all of these girls have actually found their deep-seated purpose from the deepest recesses of their heart. And that's why they're part of this movement. I think that entire piece on what motivates people to do something, and so often it isn't money or anything material. That realization was my second biggest insight. You asked for five, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the third one, I think, would be, a little strange coming from Aspire for Her, but I would talk about being ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
Being ruthless with time, because there is so much to do, and there is so little time to actually get there. Our country has already, in the last 15 years, gone behind. The COVID, whatever we say, the COVID times have actually, been quite disastrous for some of the women at work, because suddenly they have found themselves burdened with a lot of other responsibilities, which they otherwise, would be happy to delegate to other folks. So all of that put together, I think there's so much to do. We have to only partner with those individuals, those institutions, those organizations which actually share our vision and our mission. And they actually feel about diversity the way in which we feel that diversity can actually change the economic equation of India. That's the reason why I think that being a little ruthless is important for me as a person and for my entire team, because we just want to cover all the ground very fast, move very fast, but do it with the right partners hand in hand.
Absolutely.
And I think that's probably the next insight that I would talk about. And I think the fourth one is also an equally a word which you will not relate to us, but it's about being shameless.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that asking for help,
Yes.
not feeling ashamed about asking for help, has been one of the most brilliant experiences ever. In our community at Aspire for Her, especially what we do with our mentors. Usually when I have a problem, I just reach out to the mentors, absolutely shamelessly, saying, hey, listen, I have this problem, I need your help. And it is amazing. It is absolutely amazing how every time that I've asked for help, it has been one or more people who have just put their hand up. They have just said, hey, I will make this connect. I will do this for you. I will get you this person for this webinar because you really want this person here. I will find you this person who does this. And they have been so giving and they have been so generous, and all because, again, because of that inner intrinsic motivation, which is driving all of us to do this together. And I think that's the fifth reflection and fifth insight, that Aspire for Her is not about me. It's not about the girls and the ambassadors who are working with us or about the members and supporters. It belongs to all of us. And somewhere it has actually struck a chord in various stakeholders, in the deepest corners of their heart, to say that this is a mission that's worth following. This is something that we want to be part of. So it doesn't belong to anyone. It just belongs to all of us. I think that's the last insight that I'll give you.
Yes. Are there any regrets in this journey?
It's been a short journey, Sangeeta. So I'm sure I'll have many more regrets,
Yeah.
as the journey progresses. But in these few months, I think one thing that probably, I would have done it better if I had started the journey earlier. I shouldn't have waited for the gender data coming out of India to deteriorate for the last 10, 15 years to actually start this journey. Could I have started it earlier? Of course, yes. I think that's one regret that I'll probably live with. But I'm hoping that with all the efforts that we've put in now, with all the power that we have behind all the stakeholders who've gotten together in this movement, I think that regret will not be a regret for very, very, very much longer. And I'm hoping that all of us together will be able to sort of make this regret into hope, optimism, and positivity.
That's fabulous, fabulous. How I'm relating in life is as well. When we speak to our icons and they share their journey, it also other viewers can take it in their life that if they start any project or anything, they have to be a bit ruthless. They have to draw
Yeah,
boundaries. They have to choose
right,
what works for them, and you have to
right,
ask for help, because this is the biggest stigma, that if we ask for help, then we are less than able. Whereas
right.
the whole ethos of Aspire for Her, as I understand, is a community. We believe in it, we
Yes,
believe in the mission. It is a soulful mission. It is to make leaders visionaries, and then
yes,
everyone just joins together, and it is not an ego game where it's me or you.
yes,
It's let's just do it,
yes,
let's make a change. And you can only make
yes.
a change when everyone is in it together. So that's what I'm picking from your insights. And regrets, of course, there's never a perfect time, is there?
That's
So
true.
yeah.
That is true. That is true. Yes, yes. But yeah, absolutely. You just summed it up very beautifully, Sangeeta. So thank you
So,
for that.
so my question to you is, how can we help individuals of our society help in the sense, is there a change in mindset we can talk to them about? How can people help bring about this shift that we are looking at in their own household, in the society, and if they want to reach out to Aspire for Her to join hands? So there are three steps. One is within their household, number two
Right.
is within their society and community, and the third is
Right.
if they want to join hands with Aspire for Her in any capacity. How would we do
Correct.
that?
Perfect. I think that's a great question again. And so there are five pillars that we're looking at changing mindsets. And our theory is very simple. Our theory is that, uh, you know, Aspire for Her is just taking baby steps now. We will not be able to change society as a whole. We will not be able to change every father, every mother, every father-in-law, every husband, every mother-in-law. It's impossible for us to try and bite off that huge chunk of society which has, which has lived in a certain way for many, many, many years in our country. But what we can do is we can change the mindset of the one individual in this equation who's the most important, which is the girl herself.
Mm.
And for that young woman, we're saying that her change of mindset will be the catalyst that will actually galvanize the rest of society. Because with her mindset, her winning mindset, she will ensure that all barriers in front of her get displaced. All the obstructions which come in front of her, she kind of beats them. All the challenges in front of her, she wins over them. And that's what we hope will happen. And that's why we're not looking right now at society as a whole. We are actually looking at only the young woman and her mindset. And there are these five pillars that we work on. The first, of course, being mentors and role models, people like you. who are women leaders in their own right, who are doing individual mentorship sessions, and who are spending their valuable time with the young women to actually show them what success looks like. 80% of the girls in our country have no successful professional women in their immediate network. And that's the barrier that we are actually removing. The second pillar that we work on is education, learning. And what we try to do is try to get best learning programs from across the world, which open doors and windows to new careers. You know already that we have a partnership with IBM, their Global Open PTech program. We have a partnership with VMware, which is the leaders, who are the leaders in cloud computing. We have a partnership with edX, who are bringing in courses from Harvard, MIT, a lot of them to our young members in places like Asansol and Dibrugarh. And we love that there are new things which they're learning through us. The third pillar that we work on is career previews. And, we bring in career previews in the form of blogs, webinars, all kinds of interactive sessions, including Instagram live sessions, which I have recently, my young friends have taught me how to do. So, and we get interesting folks, we get women leaders, you know that, right? I mean, we have CEOs, CXOs who come in on our platform, people like you who talk motivation, who also talk about resilience and perseverance. We have spotlights on specific career paths. And it's all in all a very, very buzzing platform where something or the other is always happening. And we are showing you a preview into what your life could be like. So that's the third pillar we work on. The fourth piece is, of course, the 3E model. You should be either in employment or in entrepreneurship or have a fantastic educational path. And we have great partners in all of these three. So we just recently tied up with IMS for the education piece, and we have great partners in all these three elements. And we are hoping that this piece will become stronger and stronger as we go ahead. The fifth pillar that we work on is again very important for any community: building a strong peer community. Mm-hmm. And what we expect through our ambassador programs and through our monthly recharge groups, we expect that this community will support, elevate each other. And as soon as there is some sort of a crossroads which they face in life, this community will help them take the right decision. So these are the 5 pillars that we work on at Aspire for Her. And we hope that this is going to be the formula for the winning mindset that we are seeking to achieve.
That is fabulous, Madhura. You explained it so beautifully. I'm sure our viewers are going to be really, really fascinated with your mindset, your vision, and your mission. So thank you so much for your time and sharing your journey with us. And I really recommend people to come and check out on your website. We'll share all your details. And if anybody wants to reach out and help, because it's such a systemic problem. And, unless we work on it together, it's not a fad, it is the harsh truth. Unless we all do a little bit, our own bit, we cannot make a difference. So thank you, Madhura, once again. And we hope that you enjoyed being with us as much as we did.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta. It's absolutely wonderful. And I love the way in which you're running the programs. Thank you for having me here. Okay. And let's all aim for a better tomorrow for all the women of our country and the men.
Yes, that's what. Let's try to make this world a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you.